Okay, well, it's going to be a shorter one today because we have had a couple people have to miss, and that's okay because it just means we'll go faster. We would definitely start off with domestic violence. This is the first topic that we talked about this week during the pre-work. And this is the one where this is a slide I went over, and I wanted to ask everybody, normally we'd have a discussion, which one of these statistics is the most striking to you? Which one do you think leads to, the biggest source of issues with domestic violence, different things like that. And then we're gonna watch the 911 call. We're actually going to listen to it. I'm going to talk about a couple of things, but it is part of the training that I do want you to hear. Again, this could be difficult. You're in the position since you're not here live. You can always pause it. I've had to pause it once the first time through. First, because of the name, and then second, because of memories of my own childhood. So just know that I can still sometimes be affected. So a lot of times what I will do is you will see me working on something else at the same time. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's my way of dealing. Sometimes I watch it and it doesn't affect me, but sometimes I do, and I never know until it happens. So you should be able to hear it and you'll be able to read the words. There's no real actors or anything.
September 21st, 1991, time 22:13 hours.
This is an actual 911 call. This is the actual call.
Standing emergency. What's the standing emergency?
My mommy and daddy are having a fight.
Is he hitting her?
What? I'm talking to the police, Mommy. Stop it! Mommy! Stop it! Don't take the baby! Don't think you're gonna hurt the baby! Stop it! Could you just send the police, please?
Okay, we're going to be there. Who's taking your baby?
Stop it! No! Oh. Jaya, shut up!
Let me talk to you. Where's your mom?
What?
What's going on?
They're having a fight because this has been going on forever and ever. They always have this because he has a cousin. He's always drinking beer and getting drunk. And Mom.
What's his name? What is his name? Your father's name?
Pierre.
Pierre?
Yeah.
What's his last name?
I don't know, but I think his
Is he white, black, or Hispanic?
He's black.
He's your father?
He's my stepfather.
Okay, how old is he?
I don't know.
Does he have any weapons?
No. But he's hurting Mommy.
How's he hurting her?
He made his mommy.
Okay, don't cry. We're going to send the police.
Okay.
Okay, now where's your mother at right now?
She's in the room fighting with them.
Do you have a little baby sister?
No, I got baby brother.
Is he trying to take your baby brother?
Baby.
And he's trying to take your baby?
Yeah, because Mama's not drunk. He thinks he's drunk because he can't say nothing because he's drunk. My stepdaddy's drunk.
Are they in a room fighting? Where are they at now?
They're in the room still.
They're in the bedroom?
Yeah, I don't want him to do nothing strange with the baby because if they drop, he's a newborn baby. He's very delicate.
What do you mean do anything strange? What do you think he's going to do to your baby?
I think he's going to take the baby and do something because he's drunk. He might not see the baby and go off without the baby if he takes it.
How old are you?
I'm 6 and my little sister's 4.
You're a 6-year-old? You're 6?
Yeah, I'm in first grade. My sister's in kindergarten.
Okay, what is your name? What is your name?
Lisa. My sister's name is Drea. Excuse me.
You only... Okay.
Okay, could you just send the police?
Yeah, they're on their way, but I'm going to keep you on the line until they get there, okay? Is your front door open?
Oh, no.
Can you go unlock it and come back to the phone so the officers can get in?
Just wait, please.
Okay.
my sister out.
What sister that he knocked out?
My little sister.
Your
The 4-year-old.
What do you mean he knocked her off?
He pushed her down on the floor. And she cried. I wish she would stop doing this. Ever since she had him, Pierre just slapped Mommy.
Which room are they in?
My mom's name is Cindy.
Okay, which room are they in?
They're in, that room.
They're in the back room or the bedroom?
The back. Oh my God!
What's the matter?
Something happened! Just please let the police. Wait, I want to go see what happened, please.
Okay, the police are on their way, okay? Hello? Lisa?
My stepdaddy's got the baby now.
He has the baby now? Where is he at now?
What?
Lisa, where is he at right now? Is he still in the
Still
house?
in the room and got the baby.
Okay.
And he made some red marks on Mama's, on Mama's neck.
He did what?
He made some red marks on Mama's.
Where did he make the red marks on with her
On
neck?
her neck. On the right side. Very dark. Okay, my mom's going outside. Mama, go! The police are coming.
Is your Hello? Shit.
Okay, so, actual call, actual girl, 91. What's kind of funny is she would be 32 this year at some point, and so still a really young woman. I want to talk, this is where we would talk about a couple things. I always want to bring up, how adult she sounded. Remember how she took acted like an adult in an adult role for her little sister and her baby brother. And I always find it interesting. She must have heard from her mom, please be careful. The newborn is very delicate. She was very adamant that you had to treat the newborn very carefully. She was very concerned because of that. She was so polite. She burps in it. She says, excuse me, just one moment, please, and goes and unlocks the door and then runs back. Super, super polite. I also want you to notice, or we would talk about how dispatch asked different questions, gathering information, but also distracting Lisa from the phone call and what was going on, to kind of asking the names and how old they are. Well, that's key information, but it's also a way to distract the child from the trauma of what's happening in that moment. But it's a great way to get the information at the same time. Building a rapport, building some communication. It's always surprising to people, and myself included, that a 6-year-old was like this, so on it. Like, she knew to call the police, she knew what to do. She, was very concerned about all these things, very upset that her sister got pushed down, different things like that. Now, this is also where I would typically, we would have talked about reactions and things like that in addition, but this is also where I would chat about what happened to Lisa later on in life. So they did leave this, there was a split or whatnot. However, this domestic violence went on in Lisa's life for some more time. After that, then she ended up marrying someone and becoming a sufferer of domestic violence as well. That is really, really common. However, she was able to leave that situation, take care of herself through a lot of therapy and a lot of resilience building and things like that. She is now part of a national organization against domestic violence. And so it's kind of a success story in the end. But not very easy in the beginning as we listen to that 911 call. Okay, so wanted to just chat about this signs of domestic childhood violence. I wanted to talk about this, not really the signs, more that the effects can be telling. She really wasn't worried about her own safety. She's running out to check the door. She wants to go see what had happened. She's much more upset about her little brother, her mom, and her little sister. Obviously, it was more traumatic for Lisa to be witnessing domestic violence against someone she cared about than herself, from what we can gather from the 911 call. So we would kind of talk about that a little bit, and then services to recommend, different things that you could suggest. We talk about different kinds of recommendations in the court reports and different things like that. And then we would have had a discussion, and if there had been enough people in the class, we would have a breakout session, and where, you know, 2 or 3 of you would get together in a room and talk about how would you approach that first interview with Lisa, knowing that there's domestic violence, she's had this major trauma, there's a lot of things going on. And then explore what some of the barriers to that interview would be. You know, what would you have to do differently when approaching her and introducing and having that first visit that you can think of? And then how would you overcome those barriers? We would kind of come back in and we would talk about all that, and then we would kind of have a big discussion about how we would overcome those barriers. At that point, we would go into the Amarillo case, and I'm going to slide through these because we don't need to do it. The Amarillo case, we have the 3 children. Maria was not born in the U.S. The other 2 girls were, excuse me. Domestic violence is what started the case, but we find out there's a lot more involved. Parents' rights were terminated. Girls are split up, put together, split up, lots and lots of stuff. And we would plot through, and we would go and we would work the people that we would be able to talk to. And I urge you to read through everything for the Amarillo case. Caseworker, you can see Maria twice, the guidance counselor, the foster parents, the maternal aunt, the Valdez family. This is where I would have had discussions about the fact that the caseworker didn't do their job because they were obligated to try and help with the immigration status right away. We would typically people go and talk to the foster parents, and they find out about the birth control, and then but we kind of look, hey, is it her or is it the foster parents' daughters? You know, we don't really know. Lots of those different kinds of things. Valdez family and kinship placement and how they have different requirements for space and money and income and things like that would have all been mentioned, as well as some of the other things that the caseworker says and does that are quite irritating to me and most people when they read through it. So we would have kind of gone through, discussed all of that. We would have gone through and done a full kind of workup with the court report, as in, okay, what would our recommendations be for each child? What would they be here? Other things we should consider, because she, you know, Maria is going to age out soon. We would also talk about, this typically a case that I would share that's from Geary County. Actually, there's 2 cases from Geary County that I would typically share and give details on. Again, some of it has to do with immigration, some of it has to do with placing outside of the country and whether that we would actually do that in the state of Kansas or not. And obviously we would not, but lots of different things like that that we would have in the discussion there. The next thing I would do is we would talk about SIJS. So as we went through that, we would find out that Maria should have SIJS, which stands for Special Immigrant Juvenile Status. And so what that means is there are immigrant visas for SIJ children that come from employment-based fourth preference. They're in that section of the immigration code. It's a very specialized thing. Just because it comes from employment-based doesn't mean there's employment attached to it. And so what I would do is go over the requirements Because we would have just had some of those discussions and stories and figured out what we recommend and, you know, concerns and so much. We would have kind of verbally built that court report together. Requirements for SIJS include the child has to be under the age of 21. They have to currently be living in the US. They have to be unmarried. Now, they can have always been unmarried, or they could be married and divorced. They have to be a dependent of the court or a state agency or any kind of client or entity approved by the court or a state agency. So they're in a group home that's still if they're outside of DCF custody or in DCF custody, but placed outside of the foster care system, kind of kinship, different things like that. They have to be a dependent. In other words, for our terms in the state of Kansas, they have to have a child in need of care case open. They cannot be unified due to any one of the following. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to fix that word. They have to be a dependent because of one of these reasons: abuse, abandonment, neglect, or similar basis under the state law. And I have no idea what I tried to type there, but that's what happens when I try and do more than one thing at a time. So I will get that slide fixed. But they'd have to have they have to be part of the dependent of the state or state court or state agency for one of those 4 reasons, and it has to be in their best interest not to return to their country of nationality. So we would then have a lot more discussion about this and what that means. And typically, I wouldn't have anything specific to go through other than that, but this typically generates a lot of questions, especially when it comes to undocumented is, I guess, the term that we're using now, undocumented immigrants. And I will tell you that one of the questions we always get, does this count for them? And the answer is absolutely yes, it does count for them. The children still have these opportunities. However, again, they've got to be awarded because of, okay, so here's where it becomes tricky. If their parents snuck them across the border, but the child is not a dependent of the court or state agency because of abuse, abandonment, neglect, then they don't qualify. So just being snuck here, and then technically if they're found then ICE would come in, but they wouldn't be able to get that special immigrant juvenile status. So, okay. Then we would kind of go through what would happen if together as a group, what would happen with regard to housing, education, mental health, employment, and finances if Maria was sent back to Central America, I believe, or if, I want to say it's El Salvador, but don't quote me. Or what would happen if she was able to stay? And what I will tell you is typically they should have there was plenty of time in this case. And so they would have had the opportunity to go ahead and get her documentation so she would be able to eventually, and the time that she's been here would allow her to potentially become a US citizen if they had started it at the case, because she doesn't have to be here as long to make to become a citizen. Okay, but that is the special immigrant status, advocating for older youth. So we would have kind of looked at it. If we had time, we would talk about the Brown case. That's the case I had everybody read, and then we always do this. And at that point, most of the time, we're really digging into the case studies. Typically, the Amarillo case study takes about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes alone. The Brown case, another 30 to 45 minutes, going through all the nuances with the different things that we have. Then there would be questions. And after the questions, I would say thank you. And I will say that I will send out an email tomorrow with the last pre-work, because next Tuesday is our last session. All right, I'm sorry nobody was able to join me, but then I guess it goes a little bit quicker this way because there's not the discussion, and I'm not going to go through and just kind of read everything. You can kind of do that and ask me questions as you wish. So I wish you all a wonderful evening, and I hope to see you soon.